Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your host Stephanie, and today we are making fresh and toasty bagels. They're so easy to make and they require just a few ingredients. This recipe uses all-purpose flour, but if you have bread flour, it's the best flour you can use for bagels because you will get that chewiness that you usually get from bagels at any other store, but I only had all-purpose flour and that's what I use. I actually look at a lot of other recipes to make sure that I get the perfect liquid to flour consistency so that my bagels are close to the original bagels made with bread flour. You will find a link to this recipe under the description below. And while you're here, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video and even share if you know anybody that will appreciate having this kind of content. So thank you. I mixed the dry ingredients and the liquid together until I got a shaggy dough, and I turned it into a work surface where I'm gonna knead it for about 10 minutes. If you have a mixer, you can use it and knead your dough there for about 8 minutes, but I like to use my hand because I can tell what's going on with the dough. And anytime you feel there's a resistance, it's better to leave the dough rest for about 5 minutes. After the dough has rested, it is more relaxed and easy to work with. One YouTube video that I watched suggested to add oil to the dough, and that's what I did. The first few minutes I thought it was a mistake because the dough kept tearing apart and it was not easy. It was too slippery to work with. So I decided to let it rest for about 15 minutes. I'm telling you, you'll be amazed about what a rested dough feels like. It was very supple, very soft, easy to work with. So I'm very glad that I made the decision to let it rest. And I suggest that you do the same. This dough is the base dough for all the 4 different flavors that I'm planning to make. So I needed to weigh it out and divide it into 4 equal parts. The first flavor that I prepare here is the cinnamon crunch. It's very easy. All you need to do is add cinnamon powder to the base dough and knead it for a few minutes until the cinnamon is incorporated into the dough. The second flavor that I prepare here is the raisin bagel, and it is one of my favorite bagel. All you need to do is to soak in your raisin before you even start making the base dough so that it is hydrated before you incorporate it into the dough. And just like with the cinnamon, is just work the dough until everything is incorporated into the dough. As you can see here, there are a few that are coming out, but if you keep working the dough, it will eventually stick to the dough. And another thing to add here is that it will get softer because it contains water, so the dough will be a little tacky. Be aware of that, but there's nothing to worry about. The last flavor here is the chocolate chips bagel flavor, and my kids love it. The only problem I think is that I use too many chocolate chips, so I'll adjust my recipe. But again, the same rule apply. All you need to do is incorporate all the chocolate chips into the dough. After everything has been prepared, you have to let your dough rest for about 2 hours in a warm and safe environment. After 2 hours, it's time to cut and shape your dough. You will see that your dough has risen, but you don't want it to rise too much because you will end up with flat bagels. So you cut your dough into 3 parts or whatever many parts you want it. But I want these bagels to be about a medium size, not too big but not too small. So I cut them in 3 and shape them into a ball. Just make sure you have like a even ball. If you can make a ball with your hand, it will be nice. They are homemade bagels, so we don't expect them to be perfect like the store-bought one. And then you insert your finger into the ball in the center and the other one after, and then you stretch your dough to create some sort of hole in the middle. You don't want the hole to be too small, you don't want it to be too big, because we will let the bagels rest for another 20 minutes and they will rise a little more. The hole will get smaller, so you want your hole not too small. Now that all of our bagels have been shaped, we are gonna let them rest for another 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, you are going to dip each bagel into some simmering water for about 40 seconds on each side. I suggest you start this process using the plain bagels first, because if you start with the chocolate, you will see that the water will get contaminated, if I shall say, with chocolate because it will melt down. After you've transferred your bagels onto a baking sheet covered with parchment paper, you should brush them with egg wash and apply your toppings. Another mistake that I made here is to apply the cinnamon topping at this point. I think that you should wait about 5 minutes till the end to apply the cinnamon crunch because it will melt and burn. Bake your bagels in the oven for about 17 to 18 minutes at 430 degrees Fahrenheit. When your bagels come out of the oven, let them rest for about 30 minutes if you can. I just couldn't resist. I had to cut into them, and especially the resin. Look at that, it's so beautiful. That golden raisin. First, it is soft because it's still hot and it is made out of all-purpose flour. And just enjoy your bagel with some cream cheese and some orange juice. It is delicious, especially when you let it cool down. The outside gets a little harder. It was good. My kids enjoy it. I did enjoy it. It's very easy to make. I really hope that you can make this recipe and let me know what you think about it when you make it. Leave me comments below. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.